Hello beautiful booktubers, something a bit different for you today. I'm going to do a flip through of my sketchbook from the last couple of months. For those that don't know, I took part in Inktober and Drawloween just as a push to get me back into arting again, creating stuff, drawing, because I remember I really enjoyed it when I was a kid and it's been wonderful. Now I want to preface this with I am not an amazing artist. I'm very much at the beginning of my journey, so some of the things in my sketchbook are very rough, are very amateur. I am learning, so don't expect to see the most amazing stuff in this, and don't be mean in the comments. Not that I think anybody that usually comments would be, but just in case there's any lurking trolls, don't even try it. I know this stuff isn't amazing. Okay, so let's get started. This was before any drawing challenges. This was me just sitting next to my partner and saying, I'm going to draw because you draw, because he's a tattoo artist, and you can see these skulls are terrible, so bad. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I didn't watch any tutorials. I just had a go with a black pen, and as you can see, like this one, like what is that? What is this? I don't know. Dolphin. Not too bad, very out of proportion though, looks like tiny. Bit of a cupcake, probably hungry. This little monster guy I actually drew from a tutorial and I am quite pleased with him, he's quite cute. And then a bit of a Cthulhu which I did copy off something online, so pretend you haven't seen that. And then some little bits of patterns here. So yeah, that was right at the beginning of my journey. As you can see, very rough, very much an amateur. On the back of it, I did a couple of rose tutorials, so they turned out pretty good. They're like tattoo style. I had a go at drawing a picture of a girl who looks surprisingly like myself, and I'm quite pleased with that. You can tell I can't draw hands because her hands are behind her back. Here we have just another little pattern. I was just playing around. I also at this point started doing some of the exercises in drawing on the right side of your brain, and this was draw one of your friends from memory, so I drew my friend Sarah. Doesn't look anything like her, it's not very good at all. I actually haven't been back to that book for a while because it got to the part where you were meant to have certain things to be able to carry on, and I didn't have them, like a piece of cardboard and some perspex or something. So next one was a self-portrait. So this is a picture of me again. Very rough, not great. I look really tired in it, so that's probably right. That was like the 17th of September. Practicing hands, I need a lot of practice there. They look like big sausages. Some absolutely terrible beetles here. Pumpkin and a scene. I'm just going to whiz through these really crap ones. This one was an exercise where you had to draw a guy upside down, and it was meant to help you get proportions right because you can't see what you're drawing because your mind can't finish it off yourself. And that turned out pretty good, although his hands are absolutely massive, so I did draw it out of proportion. Yay! Spider-Man, another upside downy thing. We had to draw a scene from when we were, what we would have drawn when we were a child. That's just scribbles. Now here's where I started trying to draw stuff properly. I drew some fun guy, which it's alright. Practicing my shading, a sphere, and then my mug, which is actually this very same mug that I always drink out of. And again, I drew a really bad cat and crossed it out in anger. Trying to draw my thumb, some more hands. You can see my hands are getting a bit better here. I drew a plant, it's alright. Drew some glasses at the bottom. I posted a picture of this picture, a photo of this picture even, on Instagram, and somebody thought it was a photo of glasses, so I'm taking that as a win. It was pretty realistic. I drew my lime crime lipstick and lip brush because the book that I was doing was just like draw everything, so I drew that, and you can see the shading, it's not too bad, definitely need practice. These were, I found somebody, I think on YouTube, who drew maybe, I can't remember the number, 50 succulents, so I just drew along with them. So these aren't my designs, these are just somebody I drew along with this person, just to get some practice with drawing stuff. You can see again, I coloured some in here, but again, not my designs, I just drew along with the person. I did draw a cat tutorial, quite pleased with that. I feel like this one looks a bit like Salem from Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Tried to draw a skull, it went really badly, crossed it out. Another cat. tried again to draw a skull and actually took my time, and at the time, I actually drew this on my birthday. At the time I wasn't very pleased with this, but looking at it now, it's not that bad. You can tell what it is, my shading's getting better. This was some more exercises out of the book. You can see I've started drawing here and the colours have gone through, but just lines and shading, messing about, watering can, ruin the rest of the page, because this was when Inktober started. So for those that don't know, Inktober is something run for the entirety of Inktober, and every day there is a challenge. The rules are just draw something with ink every day. You can follow the prompts from the official website, you can draw your own thing, or there's loads of other sideline prompts that you can use as well, but I decided to use the official prompts this time. I'll see if I can remember what they all are. This one was Swift, so I know I've drawn a swallow, but what are you going to do? Decided to draw a tattoo style swallow, and I remember after doing that I was looking through the Inktober tag and just got so blown away by people doing all these big amazing pieces of artwork, and I just couldn't believe how amazing they all were. But a lot of these people are actually artists for a living, so I learned early on not to compare myself to others. You know, it is a journey, and the only person I should be comparing myself against is myself. So the idea is, with everything in this book, the book from in about a year's time, and next Inktober, I'm hoping I'll be able to see a marked improvement, because I'll have continued drawing every single day until then. Anyway, less waffling. Oh, I can't remember what the prompt was. Inktober Day 2 prompt was divided, so I have no bloody clue why I drew an octopus. Maybe I couldn't think of anything to do, and so I just decided to do that. But this was when I first started playing around with my markers. Pro Marker inks, which are Winsor & Newton, so I started playing around with those, and you can see I've done it quite dappled. I'm kind of pleased with it. Day 3, whoa, what was that? Oh, my glasses. Whoops. Day 3 was Poison, so I drew Belladonna. Again, it's quite rough. I can see I've improved quite a lot with my plants now, but you know, at the time I was really pleased. Number 4, this is supposed to be a deep water mermaid. I kind of designed it on an anglerfish, so you can see that they've got the light above, and yeah, that's where I was kind of going with that. I would like to try again at doing that next year and just see how much better I can do it. Number 5 was Long, so I drew an eel. Now this is where I started putting together whole scenes instead of just drawing one thing, and I had a go at the sun shining through the seascape, and I think it looks okay. It's not bad. This I absolutely hate. This was for the prompt Swords. It's just terrible. I don't like anything about it, really. You can tell I'd got a white Posca pen. For those that don't know, Posca pens will draw on top of anything, and I've got a white one, so I drew stars on everything, and you can tell I've got this pen from here on in because I just go completely overboard with it. Number 7 is Shy, so I drew a little hermit crab poking its little eyes out of a little shell. It's alright, I guess. I'm just going to keep saying it's alright, I guess, all the way through it, but you know. Nothing on these 2 pages. Now this is where I decided to start doing my Drawloween. I copied off Mab's Drawloween sign that she did, just to head my page. Number 1 was a werewolf. I don't really like that. I tried to draw it using a tutorial, but I just don't like it at all. I've not done a very good job. Like, what is this? Number 2, I think it was Ogre or Troll or something, and I got this guy, he's off to somebody's birthday party, he's got his balloon in his cake, and you can see like I drew like little flies. Then I drew Count Duckula, because I think day 3 was probably vampire. Mothman, again I used reference online, but I'm really not happy with it. Don't like it at all. I was practising with these like sort of charcoal pencils that I have. Bottom 1, Death. Death is coming for Derek the Snail. Derek the Snail has no idea. This one was Creature from the Black Lagoon, I think. So I drew him having a bath. You can see I messed up the floor and it looks like some sort of, it's got some weird perspective stuff going on, but I'm mostly pleased with that. Now here it was ectoplasm. What I did was I found some pictures online from Victorian times where people were saying that ghosts were possessing them and ectoplasm and things were happening, and it was just basically people with like neck curtains coming out of their mouths and their ears, but I thought it was pretty cool, so I ended up drawing a whole set of those, which I'll show you later on, but that's the first one I did. Crooked, I drew a crooked house. I'm really pleased with this one. This was Alien, and I drew the facehugger from Alien on the egg. 9, I drew a mandrake screaming. So this is just a mishmash now. So 9, drew Halloween. I don't know what the prompt was for that, but some sort of ogre eating an arm, not his own arm, even though his arm is bone. Day 10 of Inktober, gigantic. Day 10 of Halloween, I drew a vampire bat. Day 11 of Inktober, I drew what somebody has pointed out to me seems to be Mike Wazowski from Monsters Inc. in a Halloween costume. Totally didn't realise I'd done that at the time, but yeah, it definitely does look like him. Oh, what's his name? Eddie Munster. Shattered, day 12 of Inktober. Cerberus, the three-headed dog. You can see I get a bit obsessed with moons from here on in. Teeming, a load of bugs coming out of a blindfolded girl's mouth. You can see the moon in the background. Frankenstein's monster. I'm quite pleased with my shading on that. For a mummy, I had to draw a ferret in there somewhere, so I've drawn a giant ferret next to a pile of pumpkins. I realised after I'd drawn the pile of pumpkins that, and the trees actually, that it's not very size appropriate, and that is actually a giant ferret, so there we go. Moon again. Fierce, parrot in a tree, well on a branch even. Mysterious, 3 dark hoodies in some creepy woods. I kind of like the idea for that. I think I want to revisit that and execute it a little bit better. Witch, I don't really like that. I'm not pleased with it at all. This one was for the prompt fat. I drew a little sea lion, cute, being all cute and bobbing in the water. Poison apple for day 16 of Halloween. Day 17 of Inktober was graceful. I tried to draw a stingray. Its perspective's a bit off and you could tell I couldn't be asked to draw the coral or anything. Day 17 of Halloween, I'm assuming it was clown. What I did was I took my little goblin character from earlier on and put him in a clown outfit. Filthy, Inktober day 18. Quite pleased with that even though it's gross. Dumbest pumpkin for Halloween day 18. Inktober cloud, I'm really pleased with this one. I've took this further and done a few more of these in the same style, but this is like some sort of witchy person stood and there's like a mushroom cloud happening in the background. Twins, creepy twins, couldn't get their faces right, so made them extra creepy by giving them no face. Deep, there's a lady looking down a well. Ghost, we've got somebody with little baggy socks on coming in and saying boo in their ghost outfit. I hope you can see that properly. Furious is a really angry man smashing a car up. We don't know whether it's his or someone else's. And we've got Grumpy Owl for the 21st day of Halloween. Trail, I went a bit weird with this one. I decided to draw somebody with a lot of hair trailing it behind them, walking somewhere. I drew the legs on backwards, so I ended up drawing a lot of hair around here to try and cover up that fact, but I think I'd like to have another go at that when I've thought a bit more about what I want to do with it. And then on the bottom is the little zombie lady, or little zombie girl, for day 22 of Halloween. Juicy, went a bit weird here, especially considering I'm vegan. I decided to do a mouth biting on a mouse with a frame of blood. I don't even know why. Coffin, day 23, I was in a rush, I had no time, so I just used a gold pen and did a really simple coffin design. Blind, the idea in my head was really good, but the actual execution's a bit shit. I'm not really very pleased with that, but you can see what I was trying to do. This is one of my favourites. I can't remember what day this was because I haven't written anything on it. Now here's where I get obsessed with the night sky. Ship for day 25 of Inktober. I'm particularly pleased with my really tiny spacemen that are dangling off the ship. I've done quite a lot of detail on them that you probably can't see from there, but I have. Then we had a derpy cat. So I've got a derpy cat sat in the moon licking itself. Really quick one for day 26. I did a mouse saying squeak. Quite pleased with it, practicing my cross hatching for my shading. Headless horseman, really not pleased with that, it's terrible. I didn't really try very hard at all, made a mess of it. Inktober, day 27 was climb. I was on a ferry without the internet at this point, so I had to draw something from memory. So I decided to do a quick garden spider. Little devil, I decided to draw a devil cat, see if I could remember the tutorial I watched for drawing cats. Day 28 for Inktober was fall. Somebody later commented on the picture of this saying that they thought it looked a lot like Donald Trump, and was that on purpose? Well, no, it wasn't on purpose, but I can totally see what you mean. 28, Halloween villains. I drew Dick Dastardly, the villainous of all the cartoon villains. 29 was United, and for those that have seen Predator will recognise this stance of when the two main guys meet and use that phrase, "you son of a bitch," when they're being super manly and muscly at each other. Broom ride, not really very pleased with this one. It's not great, we'll just go past it. Found, quite pleased with this one. I'm pleased with how the sky's gone. I was practicing drawing, like, I think it's an amethyst. Only thing I would change is she's looking directly at us instead of at the thing she's found, so I wish I'd have done her looking down. I think this one was something like Fancy Spider or something like that, so that's what I drew. This is my tribute to Buffy. And this was for Inktober day 31, this was Mask. For those that remember, I can't remember the woman's name, but it's Buffy's mum's friend after Buffy's gone missing, and she ends up putting this mask on and it raises the dead. And that's her just as she's put the mask on. Oh, this one's sideways. I'll try and turn around. For day 31 was Tim Burton. I don't know how much you can see that. Oh. Day 31 was Tim Burton tribute, so I drew Beetlejuice. Well, Beetlejuice isn't in it, but this is from Beetlejuice, and I'm quite pleased with how that went. Oh, we've got another sideways one. This was my first attempt at an entire scene. I drew this when I was on holiday over the space of about 4 days. This was taken from a reference photo that I took in the Fontainebleau forest in France, and yeah, while it's not perfect, I'm really pleased with it, and I tried really hard to get everything right, so it just goes to show that I can do more complicated pieces if I try, and I can't wait to get better at it. Those that watched my last video would know that my ferret Chloe passed away very suddenly when I got back off my holiday. This is what I drew the day it happened. I don't know why I've drawn a dog instead of a ferret, I clearly wasn't thinking. Really pleased with this little guy at the bottom, the seahorse. I feel like I've got the colours right and the proportions right, so I want to draw more sea creatures. This was me trying to have a go at Medusa. It's terrible, I don't like it. Trying to have a go at faces. I definitely need more practice. This was from a face tutorial. Definitely needs some work, but it's okay, at least it looks like a face. A dog, don't ask me what was going on there. And now I've started practicing shading, and I keep going for skulls because I think they're quite interesting to shade, so it's having a go. Having a go with the pro markers, doing a bubble eye fish. No idea what I was trying to do here, but don't like it, so I didn't bother finishing it. Pleased with this skull, but I've drawn 3 different skulls. And this one's filled in with dot work, this one I just did pencil, and this one's dot work as well. I quite enjoy doing these, so they're easy to practice on when I'm not in the mood for drawing. Then I decided I was going to do some stuff for Christmas presents for family, so I just doodled some ideas, and the idea is that I can just do something really simple and then put them in a frame. So this was a couple of ideas. This is another idea for a larger piece that I wanted to do, that you'll see the finished of all of those in a bit. And this is because I'm trying to draw more people, and I quite enjoy drawing people with older faces because it's quite interesting doing all the wrinkles and the creases and things. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with my witch lady and I want to draw more of those. Next is all the stuff that's loose in here, which is like finished pieces and paintings and things. So first up we have, this is a Luna moth. I did not know Luna moths were a thing until I was watching Happy D Artist, and she puts them in her work quite a lot, and her work is amazing, by the way. If you don't follow her, go and have a look, she's absolutely wonderful. But yeah, this was from the sketch that you just saw in my book. This is what I drew, well painted. I painted the background in ink and then the rest is coloured in with pro markers. This is me having to play around with some ink and watercolours. Obviously it's just practice, I don't know what I'm doing yet, so it's very rough, messing about with patterns again, a bit of a sea scene, playing around with watercolours, very rough, learning as I go. This was some ideas for the pictures for my presents for family, little dormouse. Just wanted to see if they would look alright painted. These are those ectoplasm pictures. I actually drew these for a friend and I'm planning on putting them in a triple frame. So you can see we've got the ectoplasm phantom and then the lady with some ectoplasm coming out of her ear. Quite pleased with those. I drew this little dude when I was watching something about the sea. Decided to draw an axolotl. Quite pleased with him. I think I've captured him quite well. So I've painted the ink background and then I've just used a lot of light, Copic markers and my white Posca pen. These are my finished designs for my family. I'm going to be putting these in some little frames. So we've got a little rabbit here. That's not one that messed up and it's too big for a frame. This is the finished one here. Don't know if that one. Little dormouse. And then two more. Little mouse holding onto a log and a little birdie. The man in the moon, I liked him that much, I decided to have another go and changed it up a bit and did some galaxy and stuff. Haunted house scene, practicing with my pens. The cloud one from before, this is where I took it a bit further and made it a bit weirder. I quite like it, even though it is a bit weird. And there's that little sea line again. I drew it for somebody who said they wanted to buy it and then they didn't. And there's just another rough outline. So I hope this wasn't too boring and you enjoyed this quick run through. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe, and I'll be back soon with another video. Big hugs. Bye!